Welcome to the Leaders Insights podcast. Today's episode, how JPMorgan Chase built data contracts across 50-plus domains. JPMorgan Chase just published how they rolled out data contracts across more than 50 business domains. For a bank that big, that's either a triumph or an admission of how bad things were. Which is it?
Both, honestly. A data contract, a formal agreement between the team producing data and the teams consuming it about what the data means and how it'll behave, is only necessary when you've already got chaos. JP Morgan had hundreds of business lines, all defining customer differently. This is them cleaning up a mess they let fester for a decade.
Defined differently, because every executive says their data is a mess, and it usually just means the dashboard's ugly.
No, this is deeper. One team counts a customer at account opening, another counts them only after the first transaction clears. So the retail division reports 12 million customers. The risk team reports 10.5, and both are technically right. When your regulator asks how many customers you have, it depends who you ask, is not an answer you want to give.
So a data contract fixes that. How? Mechanically? Walk me through what one actually contains.
4 things, roughly. The schema, the fields and their types, so account underscore balance, is always a number and never sometimes text. The semantics, what the field actually means in plain English. The quality guarantees, like, this is never null, updated within 2 hours. And ownership, a named human who answers when it breaks. That last one is what most companies skip, and it's the whole point.
Why is a name the whole point? Sounds like the least technical part.
Because the real problem isn't technical, it's the ownership vacuum. When a data feed goes bad and 40 downstream teams are affected, everyone assumes someone else owns it. A contract forces one team to sign their name. At JP Morgan, the friction wasn't building the schemas. It was engineers realizing they were now on the hook for data they'd been quietly neglecting for years.
Which means they resisted. How do you make an engineer volunteer to be accountable for something painful?
You don't make them volunteer, you make it worse to opt out. JP Morgan tied contracts to their data mesh. Why, yes, that's the architecture where each business domain owns and serves its own data as a product, instead of dumping it into one central lake. If you want to publish data other teams can use, you publish a contract. No contract, no distribution. Suddenly, signing your name is the cost of being visible.
The article calls it a practical blueprint. But JP Morgan has a technology budget bigger than some countries' GDP. What can a company with a normal budget actually copy?
The sequencing, not the scale. Don't try 50 domains at once. Pick the 3 or 4 datasets that everyone fights over, usually customer, product, and revenue definitions, and contract those first. JP Morgan didn't boil the ocean either. They started where the inconsistency was costing them regulatory pain and expanded from there. The tooling is almost irrelevant. You can write a contract in a shared document if the accountability is real.
A shared document? Vendors selling data governance platforms would hate hearing that.
They would. And I'd flag that most of the "you need our catalog" numbers come straight from those vendors' own marketing. A tool helps you enforce contracts at scale, checking automatically that the data still matches the promise. But if nobody's named as owner, the fanciest platform just automates the finger pointing. The organizational commitment comes first, the software second. People buy it in the wrong order constantly.
So the tool is the reward for getting the culture right, not the shortcut around it.
Exactly. JP Morgan spent years on the human side before the mechanics clicked. The banks that bought a platform first are still generating beautiful dashboards of data nobody trusts.
Give me the one thing a listener does Monday morning.
Take your most argued about metric, the one where 2 teams show different numbers in every meeting, and write down on one page who owns it and exactly what it means. That single page is a data contract. Everything else is scale.
That's it. The CDO decision tools are live at mba-training.com.